Alright, y'all, it's time to settle a debate, or at least start another one. But it's time to settle a damn debate. So, who is the worst avatar? I know all y'all point to one fucking answer every single time, but with this video, I feel like I can change your perspective. So, before we get into it, before I say what I usually say, if you are overly sensitive and don't know how to actually have a conversation without getting in your feels and all that good shit, this may not be the video for you. So if you are that sensitive and can't handle it and can't actually have a decent conversation, fuck off, go out to another video. This ain't the one for you. With that being said, play my theme music. First up on the agenda is fucking Kora. This is probably the main target everybody gonna say is the worst avatar. So let's just get into it. Kora is a slippery slope, but she's definitely a candidate for the worst avatar, right? Book one, she started off coming out of isolation and training, you know, she was gifted off the rip, you know, knowing 3 elements as a fucking little child at like 4, 5. Regardless, heavily gifted as being a combat, combat in general. And started off her avatar journey and avatar role a little bit slow. I'm not gonna lie, she got arrested, kind of crazy. But when you got into it with the whole first villain with the equalist and shit like that, she actually shown that she had potential to be actually one of the greatest avatars out there. Or I said potential before y'all get your feelings. She had potential. She did risk everything to, you know, probably bring everybody's bending back, even risk getting her own bending taken away and just to unlock airbending. But showing that she would sacrifice, you know, put her life on the line, potentially, even though she wasn't gonna die, but potentially doing all that just to, you know, find out who's doing all this and going to take them down. That was a great start and a great example to her being a good avatar. Then it went downhill from there. Because book 2, I don't know what they have against her, but like, that had to be one of the worst type of writing I've ever seen in my life. And it all came down to her. Like, we all knew she was brash and, you know, headstrong, go head first without a plan and shit like that. But book 2, it just drove it over the fucking edge. Like, her role as the avatar looked like it just got dramatically worse. She started and initiated a fucking civil war by accident, by the way, because she was extremely fucking naive. How do you not notice that your own uncle was the fucking, you know, bad guy? You pulled up on him in his throne, sitting on the throne in the middle of the dark, and you couldn't tell that guy had evil intentions?
They look like bad guys.
Bugging. But on top of that, her role as Avatar got a little skewed because one, she was too headstrong to not actually making a coherent thought about opening up the damn spirit world door. And she's like, oh yeah, you know, harmonic convergence. Oh, if Uncle says it was cool, then I should open the damn things and let all the spirits run free and everything like that. Knowing that you probably should have dug a little deeper to see why that the dark spirits were actually irritated and you had, you know, your uncle knew how to take them down like that. That didn't ring any bells at all. So you potentially could have put the world in, you know, 10,000 years of darkness. And then on top of that, the one big thing about it is that you lost the past lives. Just because you simply just got overpowered or just like, I don't know, could have put Batu in there a little bit quicker, but hey, that whole book 2 like legit cements her like argument to be the worst avatar, and it sucks because it's like without that, it's kind of a pretty hard argument not to say that. But moving forward, book 3 should have deal with Sahir, and you know, this is where it kind of just like it's like a gray area for her because after the whole harmonic convergence and shit like that, book 3 kind of cemented that she does create her own problems. Like, book 1 you can give grace, but after that she legit, it all came down to it right there that she legit creates her own problems. Like with the whole harmonic convergence and dealing with all that, you know, like Susanoo shit, and that was just a mess in general. But you deal with that, doing everything with the spirits, and you accidentally gave people, random people who didn't have bending, let alone probably didn't even want bending, air bending on top of that, and then you created your own villain by accident. Well, actually gave him more oomph to it, give them some more power by accident, by doing all the things you did, and then you try to, solve the problem of, just going about trying to recruit airbenders and try to recreate the Air Nation. So like, I guess people were trying to give her credit, but like, oh yeah, she brought the Air Nation back by accident, not by, like, on purpose. That literally was a complete by accident. Like, I don't like people giving her credit for that shit, because it's like, you really didn't do it on purpose. You didn't know it was gonna happen. Like, you can't give her that credit. You can give her credit for losing the avatar state and then, gaining it back after a while. But it's just like her roles, it kind of gets misused. But like, she did help recreate and rebuild the Air Nation, which is fine. So you can give her partial credit for that part. But like, bringing them back in general, no, I can't do that to you, because all that shit was an accident. Let alone that you protected them, I'll give you that. You went over there and you fucked around with the damn Earth Queen. Honestly speaking, she deserved what she got by Zahir. But everything that you dealt with to go get the airbenders, to protect them, to do everything they have to do just so you can have another Air Nation again, and potentially getting crippled for like years. Yeah, that was kind of a cool role, because again, it showed the examples back in book 1, which a lot of people won't give her credit, because she does lose a lot of her fights.
Every episode. Up and down.
But it showed that she put her life on the line yet again for others without even thinking. I mean, granted, she had to get her ass whooped first, but then she came back with a plan. Showed that, like, yo, I'll fucking risk it for the biscuit. If I die, I die. But at the end of the day, the Air Nomads are back. What's it called? Zahir's gone. A threat is legit gone. And then the spirits are slowly trying to, come together better and shit like that. Even though you were still struggling to deal with all the binds that were intertwining with the city. Again, your fault, but like, I don't know. But then to round it all off with book 4, we got to take down the fucking whole dictator and learn, that spirits and humans have to learn to get them together. The whole Air Nomads are, finally coming along, but you have PTSD from dealing with old boy who legit tried to cripple you with metallic fucking, what was it? It looked like fucking, like a mercury type shit, injected to your skin. Now you got PTSD, can't even snap back into the avatar state. Kind of crazy, but I get it. But you do lose a lot. You have potential to fucking kill Kuvira, but yeah, I get it. PTSD is a real thing, and I think a lot of people play on that. But I don't know. It's just you don't think. A lot of times she doesn't think, and like they stuck with that aspect of her. She doesn't think. It's just, I'm gonna go in there, I'm gonna figure it out with my hands, and then if I get my ass beat, then we're gonna retract it and we're gonna fucking try it again. Like, legitly, you almost didn't fold Kuvira. Like, she was taking you down comfortably. And the last fight y'all did, you should have beat her ass pretty damn easily, but yet you didn't. And then, you tanked a fucking spirit cannon, which is tough. It is really tough. It's like niggas were saying, like, you just took a nuke and you made a spirit fucking portal in the middle of the city, which is kind of crazy. But with that being said, Kora, I would say she does have potential being the candidate as one of the worst avatars, let alone just because, one, you did lose the past life. So the next avatar, the only advice and wisdom that you will have is from her. That's gonna suck, because she wasn't wise enough already. Like, a lot of her things, a lot of her problems she created on her own. All her villains were her problem to begin with, right? And then she had to solve it after, seeing all the catastrophic events that's already happening. So it's like, she's not a progressive avatar, she's more of a super reactive shit into like seeing like everything that's going to shit because of her. Except for like Amon. I really want to say that was her fault, but she kind of edged it on by, saying, yo, fight me. Like, I don't give a fuck. Like, meet me where you want to meet me and we'll fight and call it a day. But yeah, I mean, Kora has potential to be the worst avatar. But moving on. Next is Aang. And I'm going to tell you right now, Aang is not the worst avatar. And because y'all are going to try to say it, but he left. Look at yourself in the mirror and just put yourself in his shoes. As a 12-year-old boy, if you get told you're the avatar for selfish reasons, not because they had a feeling that, the Fire Nation was about to come over there and burn everything to a crisp. No, they just wanted to get you away from, your closest friend, your father figure. Yeah, that's some selfish shit. And then, you know, everybody started treating you differently because they find out you're the avatar. And, you know, he's a kid. And on top of that, he finds out after he dips, and, you know, 100 years later, you find out your whole culture got wiped away, that you're in the middle of a whole 100-year war, everybody wants to take your head off. I think the worst avatar, because then he, like, learned all 4 elements, well, very master airbending, learned all 4 elements under, like, a year and some change, had to deal with probably the better villains than compared to Kora shit, while trying to knock out a whole war, and then decided not to smoke Ozai after Kiyoshi, Ying Chin, Kora, everybody was saying, yeah, take him out. He did it his own way. He pulled a Miles Morales and said, nah, I'm gonna do my own thing. And he did. Did like the whole Son of God thing. He just said, yeah, I'm gonna just take all this away from you. There's no way in hell you can say Aang is like the worst avatar, and not even close, because he's legit the best one to me. Not my favorite, but he's my second favorite. But he is the best, not even close to the worst, because homeboy did it all as a child. A legit fucking child. He got the job done without smoking Ozai, without taking lives, without doing all this extra shit, while being on the run the entire time, ending a war. Like, his, like, accolades is always gonna be overlooked by Kora because, what, she tanked a fucking cannon and she brought back the air nomads? If he knew how to bring back the air nomads like that, I'm 110% sure he would have did. But Aang is by far the best avatar and not even close to the worst. Next on the list is Avatar Roku. Now, this one for sure has potential to be the worst avatar. Roku had many chances to prevent a literal 100+ year problem that would have still carried down the line all the way to fucking Kora's era. When your best friend gives you that fucking bad sensation, like, yo, this man is legit evil. He asked you at your wedding, let's have a chat, and he started talking about world domination off the rip. That was not a red flag in your fucking head? Red fucking flag in your face, literally just saying, with, you know, I'm the Fire Lord and the Avatar's power, we can rule the world. The fuck are you on, my nigga? What? Like, you didn't see any of that as a red flag at all. Like, legit, at all. You didn't see none of that. Like, brother, that was the biggest red flag I've ever seen in my life. You just said, nah, fuck this. It's my wedding. Don't talk about that shit. Every nation's supposed to be together. Move on from it, right? Homeboy left. You came back and you see that he started taking over some of the Earth Kingdom, and you legit looked him in the face and said, what the hell are you doing? Why are you over here in Earth Kingdom Nation taking it over? And homeboy looked at you like, you should talk to me as your Fire Lord, homeboy. I don't know who you talking to like that. I let my friendship get out of the way, but you address me as your Fire Lord. Homie, one, he already said, shut your punk ass up. 2, take a knee when you talk to me, and I'm gonna do whatever the fuck I wanna do. And then he threw a fucking fire blast at you. And you had the nerve to basically put him in timeout, suspended in midair, and to stare him in the window of his soul and say, I'm sparing you, Ozai. Sozin, just because of our friendship. If you do this again, if I catch wind of it, I will end you permanently. You should have ended him permanently. Not only did this man play the long game, he went there to help you live, and then sat there and watched. He's like, oh wait, this is my opportunity. I'm seeing you. You're legit croaking on fucking toxic fumes. I'm going to take over the world, and then you can't do nothing to stop me. And I'm gonna wipe out the air nomads because I know the cycle afterwards. This could have all been resolved if you would have just gave him the end screen, like the game over screen. Are you out of your mind? Like, legitimately, wait, you could have stopped a 100-year war and the air nomads being wiped out forever if you would have just took him out. The Earth Kingdom probably wouldn't have been as much of a mess if you would have just took him out. But no. Aang is the passive one here, but you had a clear shot and you fought him. You should have took him out. So you potentially could be worse than Kora, but let's just carry on to the next one. Next on the list is my favorite avatar, Kiyoshi. with Kiyoshi, if you read the damn novels and shit like that, Kiyoshi legit is probably right there. Above the other two for sure, but like she's right there as one of the worst. Only because she liked to solve things with fire, bruh. Like y'all all know that she legit told Chin the Conqueror, like, yeah, you can't have everything, pimp, but I'll just create my own island. And you know, he kind of just died on his own, because I'm gonna give her that dub. But if you read that stuff, yeah, you can give her credit to what she actually done. One, has threatened government officials like the Fire Lord and the Earth Kingdom plenty of times just so she can get her own way. Like, look, we're gonna solve this right here, right now. If you piss me off, I'm gonna show you why they call me an avatar, you dig? She's frozen people's internal organs, you know, to solve a problem. She created the Dai Li. I know everybody can say comfortably that the Ba Sing Se is probably one of the worst fictional, like, cities, countries, whatever, ever, because every time they go to Ba Sing Se, some bullshit is always happening there.
There's no war in Ba Sing Se. There's no war within the walls. Here we are safe. Here we are free.
You can't keep the truth from all these people. They have to know. What happened to Judy?
I'm Judy. I'll be your host as long as you're in our wonderful city.
But she's the reason why the Dai Li exists. She created them. Not your best move, honestly speaking. Yeah, she wasn't really the best example of there for the people. She was there for the people if it benefited her to a certain degree. You dig? Like, she was there, but like, she was very brash with it. And that's all I'm gonna say with it. Because Kiyoshi, although she is tough and my favorite because she is, you know, you gonna be missing from this earth. I'm gonna make sure you get to heaven on Amazon Prime or hell, depending on how bad that person was. Yeah, that's Kiyoshi. Just, if she was just like, she's worse than Kora with being super brash, but like, if she would just use her head and, you know, a little bit more diplomatic and not, I'ma just, you know, off you and see like what else happens. If something goes wrong, I'ma just off you next. Yeah, problems still occurred after that. So, and the Dai Li is pretty bad. So, moving on. Next on the list we have Kook. Another example why he's not the worst avatar. Like, even though his life was pretty short, just from what he had to endure, he was cleaning up a mess from Ying Chin. Like, we don't have much of his, like, you know, history and everything, but he legit had to clean up a bunch of messes. Outside of him being a legit male gigolo, like, if you don't know what it is, he a hoe. But he had to deal with all the dark spirits, all the angry spirits that Ying Chin decided to not really fuck with because she dealt with, you know, dealing with, you know, the peace of the people, let alone the people and the spirits. But yeah, he had to take care of all that, and it put a toll on his body pretty bad on top of that. And unfortunately, that one of the spirits himself took the face of the one he loved, his legit wife. That kind of sucks. That kind of sucks. And he took care of all the spiritual problems. You know, I mean, there was no really problems with the people, but like, yeah, dealing with all of that, that sucks. There's really not much you can say about it because there was no real problems outside of that, and he kind of took care of it, but he died early, so not much to speak of that, but he's not the worst avatar. And that brings me to Ying Chin, who is not the worst, but legit created problems for the next guy, you know? Like, she was I think she was the youngest one to be acknowledged as the avatar, full-fledged avatar, and she definitely created peace among the people pretty comfortably, not using fire with fire, like, you know, but she definitely had her methods. Yeah, combustion benders, yeah, I don't want to spoil everything because you should read it, but like, just know her and combustion benders really have a fucked up relationship, and yeah, they really shouldn't have done that to her damn bison. But Ying Chin as an avatar was cool, but she definitely had her own selfish motives to go about business. And had a really bad god complex on top of that. But did she keep peace among the people? Yeah, she did. 100%. But she ignored her duties on the spiritual side and can legit fuck Kook in the end. Like, you ignoring the whole other half of your role really kind of just put a toll on somebody else. Granted, everybody loved Ying Chin. They built a whole statue for her, and you know, God complex. Definitely fed into her God complex, but still, you really should have like at least indulged in your fucking spiritual part a little bit more, because what really happened to Kook is really bad. So that's the only knock on it with like Ying Chin. She really should have just paid attention more on the spiritual side. If it wasn't for that, I mean, she really probably would have been like right behind Aang, but yeah, no, right behind Kook is the thing. So we're gonna skip Sito because there's really not much to say about Sito. This nigga, he legit said, fuck being an avatar. He mastered everything, but as soon as his training was done, he went back to the Fire Nation just to be accounted for the Fire Lord. Kind of weak if you tell me, but like, that's it. But last on the list is Juan. Juan isn't a bad avatar, but he definitely probably never would have been an avatar if he did just mind his business. I mean, that's a simple thing of just, yo, mind your fucking business, and you probably would have been all right with your life. But he decides, you know, I see two big old spirits fighting, and then, you know, one would look like he's getting choked out, and I'm gonna just separate them. Low key, potentially almost like put the world 10,000 years of darkness by accident, but you know, found a way to merge Rava and became the first avatar. But in between all that, even after the fact that you did all that in season of Batu and the Tree of Time, you had to stop fighting from like all the people that had newfound bending powers, and that there's always still gonna be evil eluding and, you know, influencing people to just have aggression and all that good stuff. They always want to create war, and you just try to create balance. So in the end, you kind of just like created a bigger problem for yourself, and I guess an eternal cycle of, you know, new avatars happening all around. But you legit had to stop like a lot of fighting. Like, you were just Kook with people, and that's, we saw what the aftermath was. He was just an old man, had armor on, and he was just like, yo, I failed. Everybody keeps fighting. Dark spirits keep on, you know, agitating the people, and they just keep on doing what they want to do. That's where I said you got a knock, just because you did not mind your business. But like, if you didn't, we wouldn't have the avatar cycle. So I want to say you were a bad avatar, but let alone you definitely created your own problem. Aspect that you and Kora shared pretty often, but like yours was kind of like a big one. But you're not the worst avatar. So I'd say you're either, no, you're right behind Ying Chin, and just right there on the same tier Kyoshi level of avatar role. But we came to the end of this video, so I want y'all to ask and deliberate in the comments now, who is the worst avatar? Because I say it comes down to two people legitly. It has to be either Kora, because of how she handled all her problems pretty bad. I'm not gonna lie to you, pretty fucking bad. But it has to be Kora, or it has to be Roku, because, you know, he legit was, he could have stopped a whole genocide and a whole 100-year war if he would have just kind of, you know, offed his friend, but, you know, he didn't. So let me know down in the comments below. I hope y'all don't pick Kyoshi because she created, you know, created Dai. Accidents happen, you know, but like, nah, it is what it is. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and share to everybody you know. And make sure you follow the socials down below. It's your boy Easy. Till next time, y'all.